Hello and welcome back to Our Life, Beginnings and Always. It feels great to say that. Here we are in step 4. I really want to get going with it today. Marina rode a bus back to Sunset Bird and flew on a plane because we determined that they probably live in a distant city. Now, to see Mr. Derek Suarez, who they'll be spending time with. So we're going to get into it. You selected Derek's name and saw the last thought he had sent you and texted a quick message. Good luck on your trip. Let me know when to come by. I'll be ready for you. Hey, I'm here. I have arrived. Guess who survived the trip? Here, Derek. I'm in town now. Yeah. You scooted closer to a wall, positioning yourself out of the path, but in a place that was still easily visible. It took only a minute to get situated, and your phone was already buzzing with a response. Coming! You cracked a smile at the screen of your cell phone, and the brief message that lit up. Then you put it away. He'd be there soon. You ready for this? You ready for Derek Suarez, age 22, 23? There wasn't much else to do besides watch the tide of people go by and think. Recollections of how you ended up in that spot came to mind. The two of you had consistently kept in touch. He knew what was happening with you and what you with him. For the past months, the catch-up calls and texts you had with Derek included updates on his process of moving. He decided to head back to the city, at least temporarily, to help his dad with his business and work some things out for himself and his own future and career prospects. Oh, Derek gets to inherit the family business, but not us. We don't get to become part of this. I mean, if we got with one of those boys, we could inherit that business, but Marina would inherit that business in a heartbeat. Marina even asked Cliff about taking it over. Like, they really want to do that. Like, that was my other thought, that Marina might have went to school and got an MBA at least, so they could, like, do that. If they get any kind of degree, that's probably what they would get. Masters of Business Associates, by the way. That's what, I think stands for. Derek kept you in the loop with his house hunting, logistics, the victories, and the setbacks in making a major life transition. It all came together less than a month ago. The Suarez family was naturally thrilled to have him there. Jorge already lived near, only 40 minutes away, and Nicolas was still at home, so the whole team could be together again. The biggest brother was just happy to return to his own stomping grounds after all the years of being away. But it wasn't a familiar locale for only him. Sunset Bird was the next town over. He knew that. Derek's deep voice played inside your head. The animated way he spoke through the phone a few weeks ago was fresh in your memory. He talked about how he'd made it to his new apartment with an extra room and that you really should totally come stay for a while. You'd be able to visit with his brothers and parents and your own parents and your childhood neighborhood, and you'd get to see him too. Finding a hotel in the area was always the biggest problem in coming back home. You had to appreciate the unique opportunity Derek had provided. Though even if he had lived on the opposite end of the country, you would have tried to make it. He meant more to you than just a couch you could crash on. Seeing Derek was your main priority for the trip. You both worked it out so you could be there. Unfortunately, the other good pal from your youth couldn't make it, Cove Holden. He pouted a little bit about not getting to see Derek or return to Sunset Bird with you, but he recovered. Holy crap, Cove's not even going to be in this because we picked the Derek thing, and we picked that we aren't working with Cove. And we're not living with Cove. Holy crap. We might not even see Cove again. I was not prepared for that, because Derek shows up in the Cove DLC. I hope Cove shows up at some point. It'd be really weird not to have Cove here. But he recovered. Especially because he'd be coming later that very summer. He simply wasn't able to do it twice in one season. You'd be with Cove then, and Derek would still be in town, too. Oh, jeez, yeah, we're not going to see Cove, are we? I don't know how I feel about that. This time, though, would be for bonding time for you and Derek. I guess it's because you're supposed to, it's kind of the follow-up to romancing Derek, but so they don't want to insert Cove in there, but I was like, the Cove one is so nice, and you get to see everybody again, and it's like, I hope this isn't just about Derek and Derek's family. That would be kind of a shame. But this is what we're doing. We're locked in. You were looking forward to the trip as much as you knew Derek was. It was going to be an amazing time, you were certain. The whole thing was nerve-wracking, but you didn't want to miss the chance. It'd been a long time since you'd been together in person. You wondered what he'd think. It'd been a long time since you'd been together in person. You wondered what he'd think. You worried what he'd think. You changed over the years, but you hoped you and Derek would stay close. I mean, nah. Marina is still Marina, and Marina don't care what anybody else thinks. You were looking forward to this trip as much as you knew Derek was. You could already imagine his bright face grinning at you. Those idle thoughts led idly checking the time on your phone. It had only been about 5 minutes since you saw the text. You put your phone away yet again. It was the grand tradition of being in a bus station waiting for someone to check in the time, then looking around. You went back to the third step. Throughout the spacious area, there were plenty of other travelers repeating the exact same process as you. It's true, I do that. I'm not like looking for a ride, just looking for... yeah. Actually, I've never taken a bus on a long trip. That's a lie. I've never done that. I do like train trips, and this is kind of like similar. Other than the people filling the space, the scene was virtually unchanged since that first time you'd seen it. You could easily recall the exact day that was, Father's Day when you were 13. There we go. We are calling back. I wonder if we're going to call back to a lot of the Derek memories. Like if we're going to reminisce about things, or... This will be interesting to see what they do with the Derek story, because I wanted to do something different than my pal did. But I wanted to, it to be true to Marina's story, too, so it took a lot of time. Like, Marina would love to see Cove again, too. But I guess Marina's seeing Cove at the end of the summer. Maybe I shouldn't have made them be so far apart from Cove then. I don't know. Nah. Derek had caused such a mess back then, but you knew he'd always had your happiness at the heart of his plans. He didn't make you go through any of it on your own. It wouldn't be much longer till he was by your side again. Just thinking about it lightened your spirits. And then, over the murmur of a bustling crowd, an echoing beat pounded through the air. It was the sound of rapid footsteps against the solid station floor. You ready for this? You ready for this? Oh my goodness! I'm ready. My body's ready. Pushing off from the wall, you scanned the crowd for the source. It didn't take an I Spy champion to notice the man in a bright, sleeveless sweatshirt sprinting toward the bus landing area like he was about to miss the last run of the day. But he didn't have a map, bags, or a ticket in hand. He wasn't there to go anywhere else. He had somebody to see. And that was you. Derek had made it. Okay, this actually looks good. This actually looks pretty good. Like, there's a different art of Derek that you'll see eventually where his head looks like ridiculously small for his body. But this looks fine. This looks like a real person. This looks like what I would expect Derek to have grown up into. He neared the drop-off spot while swiveling his head. When his gaze fell on you over to the side, his mad dash abruptly came to a stop. Derek was solid rock in the middle of a slow-moving river of unfamiliar faces. He'd grown so much. A sparkling grin broke through the stillness. That part of him hadn't changed. 10 years older, but with just as much boyish charm as ever. You walked over to meet him. You ran toward him. You rushed up to Derek and jumped in his arms. You were rude in place. You stayed out of the way and waited. You ran toward him, of course. It's Marina. You think Marina changed in 10 years? No. With your suitcase rattling behind you, you pushed through the crowd. Yeah, this one. Okay, when he's wearing like maybe it's the sweatshirt he's wearing later on. I could have swore. Maybe because this is DLC. Maybe they redid the art. I don't even remember, but in like the Cove DLC, he shows up and he just seems freaking like his head feels tiny compared to the rest of him. I mean, this man's is huge now, right? This man's is like almost 3 times the size of little Derek Suarez. Derek turned on his heels to change the trajectory of his path. He took bounding strides to close the rest of the distance between you and him. You met him partway across the station, let go of the bag, and waved, initiated a high five. pat his back, open your arms for a hug. I mean, I don't know. Like, she would probably hug him here. But, yeah. They were always high-five bros, though. They were always high-five bros. It just feels weird not to do that, but... Derek didn't miss a beat and scooped you up in a warm embrace. It was a wonderful start to the reunion. Then he released you from the hold.
It's been a while, huh?
I think that speaks for itself. That's about exactly what I would have thought he'd sound like. That's perfect. With the man himself right in front of you, it was possible to appraise him fully. As you had to do from the beginning, you looked down to see Derek's face. Wait. Despite still surpassing him in height, it was clear he'd grown a lot. Yeah. Okay, so that's weird. We determined that Marina was tall because they were like into like sports like volleyball and basketball in high school and did like tall people stuff. But looking at this, I would think that they were probably the same height now. I know like Cove is probably taller. And Marina was like more on par with Cove, we decided, but I guess this is our earlier choices to have Marina be really tall. That Marina is taller than Derek still. That's crazy. Hi, I missed you. It's been way too long. It came full circle. My favorite line of the whole game. Derek's back! You joked. Yeah, I am. It's good to see you, pal. Derek watched you so gently with his words. Watched you so gently his words couldn't ring anything but true. Setting his eyes on you was something he was grateful he could do. Oh my god. I love frickin' Nicholas and that frickin' line. Ah. And hearing you call him by that longtime moniker really brought it home. That you were well home. Hearing him call you by that longtime moniker really brought it home that you were well home. Pal? Really? That was the longtime moniker? The feeling's mutual.
You ready?
Nice. You ready to go? Got all your stuff? Yeah, I gotta try not to do a New York accent, man. Yeah, it's only this suitcase. Which way are we going? That way, Derek rubbed the back of his head as his immense chair chipped away just a bit. Do you mind having to take a stroll? I didn't bring the car. My place is about a 15-minute walk from here, and parking is wild. I would have had to park 20 minutes away just to find something outside the apartment's reserved time spot. That's one thing about this place I didn't miss. Yeah. Okay, so this is LA. Yeah, Prima Vista City is LA then. But the realities of trying to find parking in a city. Let me talk about that for a minute. I hate it. I live in a city, and I have an apartment, and I know exactly the feels here. If you try to find parking anywhere in the city, like street parking, no. I walk to places within walking distance of myself. I walk to the train station. I walk to local restaurants and arcade and stuff. I don't like to drive into the city anywhere because it involves parking, and parking is terrible. And you have to park 20 minutes away from whatever you're trying to go. Yeah, you might as well just walk that distance. Derek is not wrong. This is absolutely true. Thank you, Derek Suarez. He let out an airy chuckle, still awkwardly scratching at his hair. So, we're gonna have to get in some steps. I mean, it's Marina. It's alright, it's not your fault. What a pain, it's so hot out. What a pain in the ass, it's so hot out. What a pain in the ass! Honestly, it'll be nice to move around after that bus ride. You made no case out of your fingers. Honestly, it'll be nice to move around after that bus ride.
I got you.
I like his voice. This is very Derek voice. I love it. I forgot what he was like in Cove's Step 4. You don't see all that much of him, though, to be fair, because it's about Cove, right? It's about reconnecting with Cove, mostly. Oh, but, you pressed a finger to the tip of your chin, thinking. You got here way sooner than 15 minutes. It was barely more than 5. Yeah. He attempted to shrug casually, but a smirk tugged at his mouth.
Well...
It's 15 if you walk. I guess it goes quicker if you run. Oh my god, look at this man's face. Yeah, frickin' Beefcake Derek is not something I was ever prepared for when I first saw him. Especially when you're a fast runner, like if you're a trained athlete, for example. Derek jumped in place to spread his feet apart and strike a superhero pose like when he was still a 13-year-old. Thanks for going to the trouble. Wow, what a hunk. You didn't have to do that. I hope you didn't push yourself. Man, that sounds like, that sounds like you. You grinned. That sounds like you. Totally right. Once again, completely carefree, Derek tilted his head over the way he came. Let's go. You reached down to collect your suitcase, only to grasp empty air. You glanced toward the ground just in time to see it rolling away securely in Derek's hand. I can carry it, Derek. Thank you for the help. Hey, get back here with that, you joke. Wait, you just sprinted here. Don't make yourself carry this bag to a gentleman's eyes. You looked at him. Hey, get back here with that.
Sorry.
You snooze, you lose, Marina. You took his free hand. You grabbed the corner of the suitcase handle. You stepped up beside him. Yeah, she's not touchy-feely. She never has. They never have been. Derek had his plan, and that was fine with you. But being left behind wasn't. You moved ahead to join up with your friend. Marina would be ready to race him back home, okay? Yeah, remember this scene area? Here we are with frickin', where we met Shiloh with Liz. You and Derek left the station side by side and made your way through the vast city. That was in Prima Vista City too, which is LA, I'm 100% sure. KT is still there. It's good to know after all this time KT is still there. He pointed out a towering building against the skyline in the distance. It was sparkling and new and had to be at least 10 floors. That's where you were going. I mean, I wonder if any of these actually is new from the first time, and I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they're using the exact same thing. Also, let's talk for a second about why do they have these in cities? Why do people like giant concrete things everywhere in cities? Like, I don't get what those add to the scenery at all. Having such an obvious landmark to work towards was convenient. You weren't familiar with this part of the city. The condo where the Suarez family used to live was further away from the station. It was certainly very different from Sunset Bird. You easily knew every corner of the town and could go from end to end on foot. It feels kind of weird. I'm sure there'll be a part of this where we still go back to Sunset Bird, but I kind of wanted to have that nostalgia, man. It feels kind of weird the first place you go is LA. But you continued along, certain that you'd make it to your destination. But I guess things change, right? And Marina changes, and Derek changes, and this is where we are now. His pace wasn't too fast or too slow. He was conscious of his company. I wasn't going to let you get separated out there. Come on. They probably have a longer stride than Derek. Derek chattered lightheartedly as your thoughts were drifting along. It felt completely natural being there with him. He didn't struggle to let you into his world. There was a place he'd left open and waiting for you. Derek was such great company. He had been ever since you met. He was a friend for life. He was your best friend. He was family. Oh, boy. I don't know, man. This is hard. Is Derek family too? I think, but do they think of Derek as family also at this point? I mean, Cove is Cove. Cove was always Cove. I think Derek is our best friend. The jaunt through the city breezed by. There was so much to catch up on. Even though you didn't sprint, the 15-minute walk still felt much closer to 5. When you arrived at the ground floor of the skyscraper Derek lived in, he showed you right up. I don't live in like a 3-story building. I don't live in a 10. I always look at these like skyscrapers around me, and think what it would be like to live in those buildings and up on those upper floors, and like how crazy that would be. Because it would, wouldn't it? Like, it would just be something. I have a fidget thing I've been fidgeting with this whole time, and I lost it. I'm just kind of looking for it, but I gotta stop. I gotta stop fidgeting with stuff and just frickin' read this and pay attention. So, yeah, when you arrived at the ground floor of the skyscraper Derek lived in, he showed you right up. At his front door, Derek fished a key from his sweat shorts. He swung the key on the silver loop around his fingers and joked about his near disaster from earlier that day. I could never wear sweat clothing. I have no desire to ever do that. I don't understand how people can wear that stuff in public. It doesn't feel like real clothing. I'm sorry, I'm weird like that. I know I think of like a casual clothing you wear like around the house or something, or like for working out. But there are people who just go around all day in sweatpants and sweatshirts and stuff, and I guess that's Derek. It's not me. He'd run straight out of his house once you texted, and he'd already hit the button for the elevator when he realized his apartment was left unlocked. I never leave it unlocked when I go for like long periods of time. If I'm just going like somewhere else in the apartment complex, like to get my mail or something, for example, I leave the door unlocked. Nobody's gonna come in here. It's safe enough. Nobody has any reason to come in here. But if I like go out, if I was gonna go out to the bus station and get my friend, I'd lock the door. Derek had to bolt back down the hall as the elevator arrived, lock the door, and make it back to the other end before the elevator closed, but he'd made it. Oh, this is what he did. He forgot to lock the door. I see. You quipped that being on such a high floor really came in handy. The elevator had a longer way to go and gave him more time. Derek nodded with a laugh. Welcome to my house. It's the Derek apartment. Look at this. Look at this. He's got a balcony. He's got pretty minimalist furnishings, but man, the man even has furniture. Look at that. This is pretty cool. Derek's apartment was modern but still cozy space and completely spotless. A balcony wrapped around two walls of the abode. Through the crystal clear ceiling windows, you could see the crystal clear floor to ceiling windows. You could see the ocean.
What do you think?
It's good looking already, huh? You know what? You kind of sound like legendary voice actor Dan Green.
It's not him, it's just somebody doing the voice. Because they did additions. Actually, I like this. I'm trying to get the thumbnail, obviously. Okay.
Too bad I didn't put any of it together. It came furnished.
What? Derek, you frickin' got pre-furnished apartment? What? How much do you frickin' pay for this, you frickin' sports professional athlete, big salary having bozo? None of this is yours?
No. I didn't have a lot of important stuff in my old place. Nothing worth bringing all the way over. And who knows how long I'm gonna be here. Getting new things didn't sound like a great idea. We'll see what happens long term. I might stay longer than I think. Still, at least for now, a prefab apartment it is.
It's wonderful. There's a real lack of footballs and soccer balls in here. It's a smart way to handle it. You're lucky to live here. He nodded along. I mean, I wish my apartment... I would never want my apartment to be pre-furnished. I like having my own furniture. I don't have much furniture, but I have my own furniture. There's a real lack of football and soccer balls in here.
You haven't seen my room yet.
Are you suggesting what I think you're suggesting, Derek? Because we know what happened when Marina was 18 and snuck out of the room to go see Cove in the middle of the night. We all know what really happened, regardless of whether the game wanted to acknowledge that or not. Touche. Derek cast his gaze over the room like he was meeting a friend. It had made a good impression on you, and that had him standing his ground.
So...
But he cut himself off and focused his attention back on his actual guest.
You can have my spare key while you're here, and I'll show you your room. So show you to your room, so you can put this away before we get distracted.
That was said while Derek lifted up the suitcase he insisted on carrying. It's so weird because, unlike childhood, We've been with Derek for more than 5 minutes, and Nicholas hasn't like barged in. I know he isn't going to necessarily, but I'm just saying. Every Derek moment ever has been like, Derek's back! You mean so you can put it away? I'm not the one holding it, remember?
Right.
I've got it.
You were led towards the narrow hall at the side of one apartment and stopped right at the first door in the path. You arrived already. Oh, great! Another one of these places I have to try to assume the layout of because I can only see one room. Technically 2 rooms. Now, the hallway's going to be over here off the right? And there's going to be at least 1 bathroom. They'll probably explain that. Derek opened the room for you, holding the door until you passed through. You entered your temporary bedroom. He followed you inside, still tugging the suitcase behind him. Oh wow, we even get this. They went all out for this, man. This looks a lot like the hotel room you share with Cove, though. Is this? No, it's a different room. It's definitely not the hotel room you share with Cove for the wedding. Or, like, other things. If you visit with Cove from, like... Yeah, if you stay with Cove in a hotel or whatever. Anyway, the furniture style was a perfect match to the living area. It was easy to see that it had come as a full set. Derek stepped the bag against the corner of the bed to keep it out of the way.
Oh, man.
It's incredible that you're here, especially now. Ori and Nico are both on summer vacation. They're super looking forward to see you.
They're super looking forward to see you. Yes.
Can you believe they're gonna be juniors next year?
Wait. Did Jorge, like, wait an extra year or something? So that, like, he's at the same level as Nico now? Or something? Or 2? Jorge... Oh, wait.
Jorge for college and Nico for high school, obviously.
So they made... Yeah, that made sense. He spoke with an infectious affection and enthusiasm.
We used to babysit them, and now they're practically scholars. Not to mention the fact that Jorge outgrew me.
Oh, Jorge's taller than... It's the taller one. Wait. But you were always like almost the same size as Jorge when you were kids because you were tiny.
I bet in a couple more years Nicholas will too. So much for being the big brother.
I mean, Nicholas is gonna be like a tall string bean, right? I can see that. It was a blow to Derek, but he took it on the chin and snorted in good humor. I think I have seen what they look like when they're older, but I don't remember, so I'm excited for that. You'll always be their big brother, no matter how tall they get. Jorge might have more height, but there's no way he beats you in muscle size. Nah. He's probably gonna beat you in muscle size, because I could see Jorge being like a linebacker. Derek's more into like soccer and that kind of stuff, right? He's more lean athletic. Jorge's like a big, gonna be like a big guy. He wanted to play football. He probably bulked up for football. He might make a joke. Let's actually see what he says when he picked this.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Nah, I don't believe it. Anyway, you'll always be their big brother, no matter how tall they get.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a ponderous thing, hearing about other people getting older and progressing in life. Yeah, it sure is. My mom always likes to tell me, oh, such and such cousin's having a baby, or having another baby, or such and such people are married now, or they're this old, or they're doing this for a job. And I'm like, great, thanks, remind me that I'm old. Little Jorge and Nicolas had grown up so much, but the same number of years had passed for you, and you were older than them. You were an adult with a business and a place of your own. Yeah. By business, you mean that she sells photos, or they sell photos to magazines, right? Or they try to? I mean, that's basically... You achieved more than you'd hoped for. You were doing just as well as you aspired to. Things were going alright so far. It'd ideally keep getting better. It had been tough and you didn't feel like you'd really accomplished much. Your life was just a mess as far as you were concerned. You didn't know how you felt. It was complicated. So... I think things are going alright so far. It ideally could get better. It's not like this. Like, so Marina has enough money to travel. Marina gets freelances to go travel places and take pictures of things. So I think they're pretty happy with their overall, like, experience. but there's a lot more they want to do. I don't know if it's you call it this. It's between these two. Like, is Marina gonna be a little bit more reserved about, like, worried about it? I think maybe. Like, things, it's hard being an adult. Adulting is hard, and Marina never had a plan. And when you don't have a plan, things don't go well. Yeah. I don't know. Are things just alright? This feels too optimistic, but there's not really a good in-between. There's not really like a, you're not like living out of a box living out of a box in the street, but you don't feel good about it. But it had been tough and you didn't feel much. Yeah, you know what? This one. But you still felt like you were a teenager rather than a real adult. Yeah, I think that's probably very true of Marina. You weren't sure would you ever reach a point when you saw yourself as completely grown. That's true of me too. I feel that way. I at the age I'm at, I still don't feel like a full adult, but I certainly am. I mean, I have a very adult job and a very adult life, and I just don't necessarily feel that though most of the time. A pause had formed before you realized it. You blinked and brought your mind back to the present. Derek offered an understanding smile and then spoke to give a different type of offer.
So?
Want to see the rest of the apartment? I'll give you a tour.
Yeah, that'd be great. You casually went through the still open bedroom door and Derek shut it behind you. The grand tour of the Derek Suarez locale was started immediately. You got to see the scenic guest bathroom with all the amenities, and you showed off the vast end of the hall with a closed door. There's a guest bathroom in this place? He's got 2 bathrooms in this place? Wow. How much do you pay for this on an upper floor of a tall skyscraper? Comes furnished, and you and your stupid job. Everybody in this game has too much money. That's right. We determined that Marina grew up pretty wealthy too. That's right. Everybody has unrealistic expectations of life because they all have too much money. So Marina probably isn't doing as well as they thought they'd be. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. Because I'm still back on the same mindset of this being Marina Foster, my little angel. My little demon angel. Anyway. Anything could have been beyond that point. Your helpful guide informed you it was his bedroom.
Isn't it crazy having the master bedroom at the end of the hall? Sometimes I'll look down there and think that's gotta be my mom and dad's room.
You're moving up in the world. You and Derek strolled back to the main section to explore the dining area and the kitchen. He described the treasures hidden inside each cupboard, and you even got to check inside the fridge. It was difficult to pretend the contents are part of some tourist adventure experience. The only things there, spread out sparsely among the shelves, were water bottles and colorful sports drinks and a jug of 2% milk, a box of salad greens, and a few containers of some kind of packed meals. Huh. You keeping salad greens, Derek? You know how quickly those go bad if you keep them? I know, because this is about my fridge, too. I have some preserved things in there, because I like preserves, and I've got a wine. But that's about the only difference. I don't have sports drinks, I have wine. Derek awkwardly cleared his throat, feeling as if he needed to explain the sight in front of you.
Oops.
Let's hear that again.
Oops.
I love the oops!
Oops.
Also, did I mention I wanted that turned up more? Do you want to max it out? Let's go back again.
Oops.
There you go. I realized I probably didn't have it up high enough where you could hear it very well. Hopefully you can hear it now. If it needs to be adjusted, let me know.
I don't have much in stock right now. I usually eat at my parents' place or get takeout.
Yeah, I eat a lot of takeout. That's my thing too.
I'm on vacation, sort of. A working vacation. But I should change that. Especially now that there's somebody else here.
He swung his arm out to the side to close the fridge, but yanked it back a crack before it shut. The bottles in the door clattered.
Oh, do you need any water or anything? To drink? I've at least got that.
I'll take a water bottle. How about those sports drinks? I'd like a glass of milk. I'm alright. You shook your head. I'll take a water bottle.
Leave it to me.
Got you.
Derek snuck his arms through the opening and pulled out a chilled water bottle. He closed the fridge for real and straightened out his stance. He accepted the drink from his hand. Like, this is only one scene where you get to see him, so they're taking advantage of throwing as many voice lines in here as possible. The sightseeing moved back into the living room from there. His fun tidbits were there about which switch turned on what light. His fun tidbits there were about which switch turned on which light and how to turn on the fan.
And here's the last stop.
With a flourish, he pulled open the sliding door that led out to the balcony. Cool. Can we stay inside? Thanks for getting the door. Derek, well, I don't really like heights. Sorry. No. Marina, like, frickin' climbs mountains for a frickin' living, man. Cool. Derek gestured once more to the wide open door.
After you.
You were losing track of how many doors he'd opened for you already, but you walked out into the latest one with the sizzling summer air. The view was even more breathtaking than you realized from the living room. You could see for miles and miles. The sea, the sprawling city, and the rolling hills beyond that. There's a frickin' extra art for just this frickin' patio, too. And he's got potted plants up here. I like that. I like the greenery, Derek. Good job. Good job, Mr. Suarez. Neither of you spoke for a moment. Derek moved past you and leaned against the railing. He stared out at the vast world ahead of him. You rested against the two right next to Derek. You rested a little ways away from Derek's spot. You went to stand next. Nah. He didn't flinch. Derek welcomed your presence with ease.
This was the part I was the most into about the apartment. Whatever place I got, I knew it had to have a balcony. Even a small one would have been fine, but this one is amazing.
Feeling settled, you sipped at the refreshing water Derek had given you. He pinched his shoulder up and sent a grin your way.
All right.
So that's it, the whole place. Unless you actually wanted to see inside my room.
The suggestion was given with a raising of his brow and a goofy laugh. He was joking around like a kid. I'm good, thanks for the tour. I was looking forward to seeing your room, you joked. No thanks, but that was fun. You shook your head and admitted, no. I was looking forward to seeing your room, you joked. I want to see the promised footballs and soccer balls.
Then maybe later.
Derek pushed himself up from the bar and standing at his full height.
This is such perfect timing. We're both going to be in town for Father's Day tomorrow.
Oh, so this is mid-June. There we go. That's the timing of it. We're in mid-June. That was right. You'd be present to spend the holiday in person with the Suarez family. So they're making up a thing. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That kind of hits harder. You read these options. You only ever stopped being with the Suarezes for that day because you moved. You used to spend that day celebrating with Mr. Holden until you moved away. You hadn't attended a Father's Day event since that first time. No, it would be Cliff. It would be Cliff, right? Cliff is like Dad. Cliff is like her real dad. We told him that in one of the scenes, that's how she felt about him. Thanks to Derek's surreptitious invitation to Father's Day for that first year you met him, you were able to be honest about how you viewed Mr. Holden. It led to a change in the way you spent the holiday from then on, because the feelings of familial affection were mutual. Mr. Holden was thrilled to have you there for Father's Day celebrations, and that continued until you no longer lived close enough to do it. You kept in touch with Mr. Suarez by sending cards. You also kept in touch with Mr. Suarez by calling. It wasn't the same as being there. Oh boy, did we keep in touch with Derek's dad? Were we ever that close with Gregorio? I feel like she wouldn't be. I think we'd just go with this last one. I don't think she would have ever kept as much in touch with Gregorio. And I don't remember the mom's name. She'd probably just have kept in touch with Derek, really, and not the rest of his family. Sorry, Derek, it's just kind of weird to think that, but I feel like that's the way Marina is. You were looking forward to being in town for the occasion, to say the least. Derek spoke up again to elaborate the plan.
I'll be going to see my dad and everyone else. That's pretty obvious. We're just gonna hang out at their place.
Well...
I know you might have your own plan with your own dad, but I was thinking that maybe we could have a combination Father's Day get-together.
Oh, wow. So I like how we think of frickin' Cliff as a dad, and he even just, like, says that. Like, yeah, your dad. Cliff. Like, Cove's like a brother, and Cliff is like her dad. That's how they've always been. This is crazy to think all this.
It's so rare that we're all here, it feels like a waste to separate for the holiday. That's why I figured we could invite Mr. Holden over.
Well, no. You write the whole damn family, man. You gotta get moms there, too. So I gotta talk a minute about something else. I know I'm talking a lot and this video is going kind of long. There's a man that I think of as kind of like a second father, too. And I don't keep much in touch with him, but, like, I was married for a while, and my ex-stepdad, my ex's father, is, or my ex-father-in-law, that's what the word is. I always kind of thought of him that way. I like the guy a lot. Like, he's kind of immature and stuff, but I just always kind of looked up to him a lot. You know, thought he was a cool guy. I thought he had a lot to teach, a lot of wisdom and stuff. And I don't know. It's kind of weird to say that out loud. There's been other, like, male figures in my life, too, but I do love my own dad. I never really did anything for Father's Day, and it's really good to be able to talk to my dad now. But it's just kind of weird thinking about all this. The feeling I get about Cliff Holden, like, it's not a person who you're familially related to, but who is kind of like been a father figure in your life. But I guess I don't really talk to the guy much anymore, so maybe that's kind of slipped and I don't really think about it as much. But anyway.
He loves you, and my dad loves you too, and the two of them are the best friends. I doubt they'd have a problem with that as long as you don't mind meshing your celebration with ours. It's not gonna be a huge party, just go to my parents' place to hang out. You don't need a gift from my dad either. I'll get him a tie, but it's not a big deal.
I think that'd be a personal solution. I was gonna suggest the same thing. It sounds like a win-win to me. You know, with a smile you shrug. It sounds like a win-win to me.
Alright.
He rubbed his hands together eagerly.
Phew!
Tomorrow is gonna be a great day. And look at me, inviting you to Father's Day directly like a big boy.
Derek was so tickled inside and out that he scratched his cheek. He scratched his cheek and let out a rumbling chuckle. So they're definitely going to be referencing all the things that we did before with Derek. You certainly are a very big boy now.
Thanks.
His gaze swept over the city once more and his mind began to wander away from where his body was planted on the balcony. Nothing will ever be thanks, though. I love that line, too. I will never get to hear it again, though. What the hell? Sound like Scooby-Doo there.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Man, it's insane how much time has gone by. It's been, what, 10 years since we first met? Where does the time go, huh? It's been a good decade.
I have friends like this that I've known for 10 years or more, and it's weird to think that. Oh my god, is it weird to think... Oh my god, next year will be like the I'll have known some of my, like, other pals who are watching this video for like 10 years out of like next year. Oh my god. That's crazy. The smile on Derek's face put an unadmirable fight back to remain upright, but it dipped enough to reveal some wistfulness in Derek's words. As sweet as Derek was as a person, he had some bitterness inside, held some bitterness inside. But better decades. The world needs to pause for a second. Ooh. Do we do yeah? I feel like yeah might be. Yeah. You had better yeah. Derek rolled his shoulders and then stretched his arms. His eyelids drooped. You could still feel he was watching you.
You doing okay?
So how tired are you after all the traveling? Because if you're up for it, I was thinking we'd go see our families today instead of wait for tomorrow.
I was wondering how this was gonna go. Yeah. I was wondering if it was just gonna skip to the next day, or if we're doing this though. The idea that you had that idea you had you re-energized and ready to hit the road again. The corners of your mouth curled into a grin. I'm definitely not tired enough to pass that up. I'm surprised that wasn't a choice. I mean, I guess that you have to do it, and they go off of your personality for how they write it, but it still seems weird that you don't get to like pick your response to that. Like how enthusiastic you want to be about it, basically. Because you're not going to get a choice to say no, but that's weird. Awesome.
Leave it to me.
I'm gonna call my parents to let them know what's up. I know they'll be there. I'll see about getting in touch with Jorge too. If we're lucky, we might get a full house.
His mouth cracked into a fond smile.
This'll be quick. You won't even miss me. Or maybe you will. I wouldn't mind that.
So he's all flirty and stuff now. It's weird. It's weird how flirty Derek is. They are definitely gonna do it while she's living there. Well, they're living there. You teasingly shoot him away. I won't be able to if you don't go. I won't be able to if you don't go get to it. Get to it. Maybe I gotta call this episode Get to It.
Right.
Satisfied, Derek pulled his phone out and brought it to his ear. He began to walk away in preparation for the talk. Since he was busy with that, you decided to return to your guest room. I think since he was busy with that, we decided this was a good place to save it for now. And so, we have come full circle. We've met the adult Derek Suarez, and we're staying at his place for the duration. So begins the summer journey of Marina Foster. This is going to be kind of long. It might take us a little while to get through it. So I hope you're ready to strap in and enjoy some more Our Life Begins and Always with Me. We'll see you next time.